was nice. Out here at the Sandy River Delta having coffee with Odeed. And Wish, if she's around. What up, Wish? I appreciate, Odeed, you being involved in my birthday greeting. Yes, I'm still thanking people. So many people were involved. And how awesome is that? It's YouTube family. The Tube Tribe. Dwellers of the Tube. So, Odeed, I was thinking about your awesome backyard. Because I kind of consider this my yard. Let's take a spin. Isn't it nice? I mean, I think about that, about, this being my yard. And compared it to your yard, Odeed, which looks like yard heaven. When yards die, they go up to yard heaven. Look, they look like Odeed and Wish's yard. Look at this. There's Aquila. Hey, Aquila. And I remember, hey, Aquila, this way. Hey, Aquila. No, this way. Oh boy, he's full of energy. I had a yard once. Now that I live in a tiny house, I don't make claim to any property. This way, bud. There's so many trails here. He doesn't know which one we're going. I had a yard once, and it was all there was pine needles on the grass, and they're acidic, and they were killing the dirt. I mean, killing the grass, and so it was part dirt. It was all lumpy and hard. Like you couldn't sit in it. It didn't meet any of my requirements for an outdoor area. And so the only way I knew to get that thing back to life was constantly rake up the pine needles and do nothing else. So my yard, it grew pretty high. I mean, the difference, I'm sure, Odeed, you know, there's different kinds of grass. Hey, Aquila, this way. And people try to mow their grass to the height of, really expensive grass, let's say. The kind golf courses use. But, most folks don't have that kind of grass, so they mow it to look like that. So it looks like something it's not. It's a deceptive lawn. So when my grass reached its full height, gosh, it was like almost up to the knee. That's how tall that species of grass grows. And I just left it alone. Oh, nice. Look at this. We're coming up to the Sandy River. And a few people said things like, "Hey, are you going to mow your lawn?" My neighbors and whatnot. And I'm like, no, I'm reclaiming the soil, so it needs to look like this for a bit. And they're like, oh, okay. A little bit later. Well, don't you think you should mow that? That doesn't look very good. I'm like, what are you talking about? That's a full yard of grass grown to its height. It's healthy and green. Actually, since it got that high, I've noticed more birds and whatnot picking through the grass because there's probably more insects and whatnot. To me, it seems healthy. It seems crazy healthy. Did you really mean to jump in like that? I think he really did. Oh, look, here's some beaver marks. Well, eventually they continued to complain until eventually one of my neighbors, and they didn't really complain, they suggested, until eventually one of my neighbors sent a letter to the city. And the city sent me a letter saying, hey, your neighbors want you to cut your lawn. Let's look at this. Look at the work this beaver puts in. And it won't take him very long to drop that either. And that will fall into the water where they like it. See snow up in the mountains? Hey, Keela, this way. So here's where this long story about my yard's going. I'm like, oh, guy can't even grow his grass. That's why I hate lawns. So, cut it down. Hold on a second. Switching hands. I cut it down and went and got a huge variety of wildflower seeds, of different kind of rose flowering plants. What else? I had sunflowers. A huge amount of stuff. You wouldn't believe how many seeds I bought of different variety of plants. And I just bombarded my lawn. And it went crazy. And it eventually reached the height of my chest. My lawn, you couldn't even see, my front windows were half obscured by my lawn. But they were obscured by wildflowers and sunflowers and all sorts of different kinds of flowering plants. And I had like I had all different heights of flowers. So my yard became a riot of color. So, 4 times the height it was when it was grass. And my neighbors loved it. They loved it. I had neighbors over all the time picking flowers. I look out my front yard and there'd be groups of them out there with shears. Not cutting it down, but cutting, flower arrangements for their table. I got to know them all. It's so weird, it was a complaint led to a lovely interaction with my neighbors. And also, I might point out, Earl did not change his behavior. He just modified it. It's like, you could tell me to cut my lawn, but you're not going to make me do what you do. All right, Odeed, Wish, thanks for having coffee with me, and I'll see you in the tubes.